Welcome to I Got the Smokes, Let's Ride. Podcast me, BTCG, brought to you by our friends at Camacho. That's right. Camacho, it's 5 o'clock. It's Friday. It is time to get in that car and get to living. This is episode 04141. That's right. We've made it this far, this long. Glad you're here. Glad I'm here. Glad we're here. Let's smoke something phenomenal to start this off. I am so excited, but I got to do our little where is it? There it is. All right. So you smoke cigars, light up a Camacho or a Davidoff or a Zeno or an Avo. Why not? But let's say what's left out of there. You know what's left out of there. You've been here. You know. The Baccarat. But great day. I've been hunting this Baccarat for a while. I've been hunting to get one of them because I just want to try it. I just want to see what it's all about. And I have one right here. This is the Baccarat game. I think it is, but usually when we're doing the podcast, it's all about you, right? It's all about me. It's all about us. It's all about we. It's all about everything else. But I thought that because I finally got my hands on a Baccarat, I would talk about it really, really quick before I light it up and puff it. And I got to tell you, I have been so hopeful. I almost said worried, but I was so hopeful that this cigar is good. I've been talking about it. I've been waiting on it. I've been hoping on it, right? Lord help me if it's not good, but let's see. This is from Davidoff. Baccarat is one of the most popular brands in the United States. All right. And the game is perhaps their best known blend made by world-renowned manufacturer Davidoff in Camacho's Honduran factory. Baccarat, the game, is loved by novice and seasoned cigar smokers alike. Ooh. The balanced blend is crafted using a Honduran filler binder from Mexico and a Connecticut shade wrapper. Featuring a sweetened cap and exceptionally smooth cigar, Baccarat the Game produces delightful notes of cedar nuts, cocoa, and coffee. If you like sweet cigars, then this is a must try. If you are not a sweet cap cigar smoker, then it's a great chance to try something new. Grab yourself one of the most desired sweetened blends available today. All right, so we got to remember that when people do this, they are getting paid to do this, and they got to put out nice, fancy things. I mean, if you just say this is a cigar, smoke it, people ain't gonna buy it, right? I get it, but when they put tasting notes on, yes, I listen to it and I hope for it, but I am always trust but verify. I think that's the phrase. I want to make sure that what they're saying is what I'm tasting. It's an exceptionally smooth cigar with notes of cedar, nuts, cocoa, and coffee. Right. So we're going to find out because I'm going to cut it, I'm going to light it, and we are going to smoke it together. If you've had a Baccarat, I'd love to know. I'd love to know what you think. I actually would. If you haven't had a Baccarat, why not get you one? That's right. And if you can't get that, one of them Zeno Nicaraguas where you can live life bold, maybe an Avo, Zeno Platinum, Davidoff, uh, Camacho. Oh, Camacho, right? You got to love that Camacho. Oh, I love it, love it, love it. Let me get a cut on this with my gorgeous XI Camacho cutter. The thing is phenomenal. It's fantastic. This thing is beautiful, right? But while I'm toasting this up, you had a work week. You did, unless you're on vacation. And man, I hope you were on vacation. But if you're not on vacation, you're working. And if you're working, I hope work was good. I hope you had a decent time at work. I mean, we don't go to work to have fun. We go to work to get paid. But it's kind of nice when the extra happens where you just have a great week. Everybody loves you. Everybody respects you. They admire your wisdom, knowledge, talent, skills, and abilities, because I know you have a ton of them. And it's just everything flows. It's just smooth, mellow, and wonderful. I hope you had a smooth, mellow, and wonderful week. I hope traffic today is going to be fantastic, phenomenal. I know I'll be reading off my script. Wait, I do not have a script. This is unscripted. That's right. Unscripted. And with that being said, don't know where we're going with this. I got some things going on. I almost got into an altercation at a gas station at Costco last night. I did. All right. I got to let this walk a little bit. First puff, I got to taste this a little bit. It is a very light wrapper, very smooth wrapper, very sleek wrapper. Really can't see any of the seams. And it's a little rugged and bumpy. The veins are in there, but that's in natural tobacco leaf. I mean, what what the heck, right? But it's nice. It's even all the way across. The cap was deep, very deep. Actually, the cap came down a good 3/8 of an inch. That's a good ways. That's almost a half an inch. That's 4/8 is a half an inch. If you didn't know that, the band is kind of basic. It's that bright yellow. It's got a little black, a little gold. It's got the red in the playing cards. Evidently, the hand is the best hand you can have in baccarat. I've never played baccarat. I have no clue. Um, I do like the fact that it says baccarat, and on the back of it, it says the game. I like when manufacturers actually put the name on their band of cigars, so I don't have to forget after I bought them so long ago, and they've been sitting in my humidor for a while. But it does have good embellishment. It is bright and shiny, but everything is very very bright. It's very poppy. It jumps out and gets you really fast. But it looks good on that very light Connecticut shade wrapper. That light shade wrapper. But I'm going to tell you, it says sweet and cap. I'm not getting the sweet and cap experience that I'm used to getting. Now, I have a cup of coffee here next to me in my big yellow cup. And so I probably will be sipping on that as well because a lighter cigar and a cup of coffee to me really goes well. And so I've got that on deck ready to go. Um, that's all I'm saying about the cigar. So let's talk about this gas station situation. I got to back up a little bit. Okay. So we got another 53 minutes. We have a neighbor in the neighborhood, and we've been in this neighborhood. We've been in this house, God, gosh knows, 15 years. Yeah. Rented it for 4 or 5, and we purchased it. Well, the bank purchased it, and we get to pay the bank money to live there. Yeah, but we've been there a good while, and there's always been a neighbor that you never saw down the road on the other side of the street from us, down the hill about three houses. Um, and when I worked a while back, 10 years ago, 12, 15 years ago, every once in a while I would drive past his house and his garage door. He's got a garage attached to his house. His garage doors be open. He has a monster commercial sized table saw, and he's got some other tools in there, and he's in there working projects and stuff. And I'm like, wow, I want to go down there and play because I didn't have a big table saw. I didn't have some of the tools I could see. And usually, if you have tools like that and you're working tools like that, you have the other tools. And I'm sitting there going, I'm a tool freak. I love tools, but I'm always budget. And he had the goods, and I just want to go down there because if you've invested that much money into tools and you're using them, you've got some craftsmanship. You don't start off usually with extremely expensive tools and then see if you're become a hobbyist, right? Usually you've been in the industry for a while, you've been doing something for a while. And I love like-minded people. I want to go down and hang out with them. I want to go down and I want to play and glean knowledge, right? And just drool over his stuff. And I go home and tell my wife, say, honey, I really could do something with the house. I could build blah 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 if I had XYZ. Right. Right. Start saying this is what I want for Christmas. And just I love tools. I love craftsmanship and building. I love leaving something as a legacy to the next generation so that they can look at it and say, my big daddy, that's what they call me. My big daddy made that. And it goes through generations, right? Which is really cool. I've got some stuff like that I've made, and I love doing that. And so I would drive by his house when his door was open, when his garage door was open, and I would go slow, hoping he'd look at me so I could wave, which would give me an excuse to walk down and say, "Hey." I actually did walking around the block, and I'm not a walk. You look at me, I'm not a walker around the block. I did it just so that maybe he would be working, so maybe he would say, "Hey," and I'd stop and say, "Hey, what you doing?" And then shake his hand and say, "Hey, my name is Bob. I live right up the road. Man, I love your setup. I'd love to see it." I just had to have an excuse to go talk to him because some guys when they're working and they're doing projects, they don't want some little youngster coming around hanging out. They want to do their project. Maybe the only time they have to be at peace by themselves I didn't want to encroach on that. And I'm a very polite guy. I'm a very laid back guy. But past 10 years, the garage door hadn't been open at all. Past 5 years, longer than that, the yard just has gotten worse and worse and worse and overgrown. Slightly maintained, and then it stopped being maintained at all. And then, First Lady being the First Lady, is very aware. She started noticing that there'd be weeks where his garbage can would not go up the road where he dropped the garbage off for the garbage to pick it up. And she'd get worried. But then a couple, 3 weeks goes by and the garbage can would be out there. Then we started noting a bunch of boxes, like Amazon boxes, empty, piled up, just kind of thrown in piles on his porch. And it just kind of got weird. And so, I don't know, 6 months ago, he hadn't had his garbage can out for 4 or 5 weeks. And the First Lady goes, I'm going to go up and see him. I'm just going to go down and say, hey, she did it when I was off of work or when I was at work. And she told me she was going to do it at work. So there was no way I could stop her. She's smart. Because I said, lady, you don't know what's going on. Let's back up a little bit. But she went up there and she met him and come to find out, he's pretty much home ridden. He's been living off Amazon deliveries. He hadn't been out of the house in years. He's got a truck that hasn't moved in 5-10 years. And so we went down there and we said, can we clean your yard? And so we went down there. We spent a full day and a half. Me and the First Lady and the two grandkids and Gracie went over there and cut trees out of the middle of his yard, trimmed up all his trees, did some mowing, trimmed some bushes and this and that. And then we just kind of got all the boxes off his porch, cut them up, and put them out to the road, and kind of just let it go. We brought him down a couple of meals and stuff, but it just kind of, life be lifing, and we just kind of let it slide. Well, just recently, the First Lady goes, I have he has my phone number, and I've called him a couple times. He's called me a couple times, and so then the First Lady called me a couple days ago at work and said, "Hey, will you call our neighbor? I'm kind of worried. I got a feeling, and I haven't seen this garbage can move in about 4 weeks, and kind of worried." I said, "Okay," and so I called, and no answer. I called, no answer. Called, no answer. Called, no answer. Called First Lady back, and I say, "Hey, babe, he's not answering." And she goes, "Okay, I'm going to call the police, and we're going to do a wellness check." Well, police came to the house, our house, and they called him because I gave the First Lady his phone number. They called him and he answered, but then Sarah walked down there. Come to find out, about 4 weeks ago, he went to go take the garbage out and he fell in the yard and he couldn't get up. And he laid there for 2 hours, he says, until somebody driving by looking at the neighborhood trying to look for a house saw this man laying out in the middle of the yard and they helped him up, helped him in the house. And so he hasn't been out since then. Just going to his porch, his front porch, his stoop to get his Amazon boxes in his mail. And so Sarah says, well, that's not going to work. We have now stepped up. We are going to basically adopt you. And so over the past, I guess it's been a week and a half, I've been going over there helping him just clean out his boxes, doing some organizational stuff, doing some all this and that. I'm amazed that Amazon, I didn't know this. I always thought it was a Yipster thing that you order all your stuff on Amazon and have it delivered. I just said that's just a little bit too fancy for me, right? You order your toilet paper, you order paper towels, you order food, you order everything from Amazon. You just separate from the world. I'm like, that's just not a good thing. It's not. But literally, for a person like my neighbor, It stopped him from having to lose his house and go into a home because he literally was self-sustaining via Amazon. Everything he needs. Um, Toiletry items, um, cutlery, plates, food, light bulbs, all sorts of stuff. And so he's excited that, he kind of reserved himself to say, well, this is where it ends. And I'm just going to be here till I'm not. And now we've went over and helped him, and he has a new outlook, and he wants to do more. And he's actually moving more and having a great time working with us and hanging out. I get to sit and listen to him tell me stories. He's had a multifaceted life. He was a long haul trucker for a long time. And so he's told me lots of stories, and he was a gunsmith, and he was a model maker, and he's done all sorts of other things, plus his woodcrafts, and he's built gorgeous cabinets and all this other stuff. Just amazing. And so just to sit down and talk to him, um, I guess it's good for him. It's good for him, but it's good for me too because I get to enjoy that quality time. And we bring the grandkids down, and we did a full day of working. Yesterday was Saturday. We did a full day of working, and the grandkids actually learned to give back. I think it's important for kids and for grown-ups to remember that it's not just about you. The world does not end around what benefits you. You need to be a citizen of the world and a keeper of your neighbors and the people around you. And you need to give more than you get. And so this is teaching them hearts of service, which is very important. In our family, we are hard workers and we are givers and carers. We are. That's a fact. All of us. And so we spent a lot of time with him. Well, we cleaned off his porch. We cleaned it off really, really good. We got rid of all the overgrowth. We got rid of all the boxes. We got rid of a piece of tired carpet. We got rid of some furniture that was sitting out there. Sarah swept it down, blew it off, wiped all the walls down, got everything set up, organized everything the way it would be user friendly for him to receive his packages and to have his garbage can right there under cover and all that good stuff. And she says, you know what? I'm going to go buy a couple chairs from Lowe's and we'll be able to sit on the porch because the first lady is the first lady. She is a lady first. That's a fact. And I know in today's society the rules of etiquette are lax. There's a lot more gray area and erasing of the lines of what you should and shouldn't do. But the first lady is still old school, and she's like, you know what? He's a man. There's nobody else in there. House is by itself. Um, I'm not going in that house if my husband's not there, and I respect that. And it's not that she would think anything would happen. It is the perception of things. A woman should not go into a man's house just to go hang out with a man like that. Now, you can be angry with me and you can say, well, what about this? And you could find variables that would fit. And I would say, well, that's true. But in just the generality, shouldn't happen. My opinion. So we're going to go and get um, some chairs from Lowe's, nice and high, so he has an easy way to sit, comfortable, matching, and then we're going to Lowe's to get those. And the Lowe's didn't have them, but she also wanted to go to Hobby Lobby because First Lady, like I said, is a lady and she's a decorator. She's an accessorizer. So she wanted to go to Hobby Lobby to get fall decorations for his yard. I'm sitting there going, babe, he's a dude. He's a dude. He doesn't go outside hardly. He doesn't want all that stuff decorating his yard. But I can't say that because I want to foster her kindness. But in my mind, I'm like, this is just she's gonna frou up his porch. So I went to Hobby Lobby and she didn't frou up his porch. She got a couple cute things, but we still have to go get chairs somewhere. But we're in Hobby Lobby checking out. There was a young kid 25, maybe. Young guy. He's there with a lady, and we're going up to the registers, and he's in a lane next to us, but he's at the register, and there's a couple of attendants there. So there's a very old lady taking care of him as a cashier. There's another lady there, and he is kind of heated, and he's kind of snapping at this lady because he wanted to get a return, but he didn't have his receipt. But he still thought that he should be treated like he has everything he needs. And he was getting kind of snippy. He was getting kind of loud, a little bit. And so I was getting kind of frustrated. Number one, we're out. Now we're not just going to one Lowe's. We're going to go to two Lowe's. Then we're going to go do this. We're going to do that. Well, I get to spend time with the first lady, but I want to spend time with the first lady sitting on the couch because I'm tired. It's my day off, right? Right. This is good. Very light. I'm not tasting sweetness on the cap. I'm not. Hardly at all. Just not. If you told me it's a sweetened cap, if you didn't tell me it was a sweetened cap, I would just think it's a sweeter Connecticut shade. Anyway, good cigar though. Nice. That Mexican San Andreas and a rolling around makes it makes it tasty enough where it's not just a light, no flavored cigar. Very smart. Very good. Flavor. The construction's good. Smoking. I'm talking too long. The smoke's trying to go out. But I'm now about 6 feet away from this kid, and I'm just a row over, right? And I'm watching him. I'm starting to get frustrated. And there's other people around, and it's Hobby Lobby. It's like Chick-fil-A. You got to be polite. You got to be kind. People that are ugly for ugly's sake get away with stuff because everybody's trying to be nice. I'm running out of nice. And so this guy looks at the lady, and she tried to tell him I can't do that. And he goes, "You know what? Stop talking to me. Just stop talking." Well, at that point, everything on the back of my neck had stood up. I had got tension everywhere, and I was waiting for him to pipe one more word. And I was going to go, "Look, now, if you ever see me and meet me in public and something bad happens, or if something's going on and you hear me say, 'Look,' that means I have engaged. It's just what I do. I will get your attention, and then it will depend on what you do as to what I do." Facts. Facts. I'm not who I used to be, but he's still in there. Don't make him come out. Or he want to play. But before he could say anything, this lady just blasted him, yelling in Hobby Lobby. And then she started cussing. She called him an F and this and an F and that and an F and this and an F and that. And he's being a da 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 da. And he's just trying to be a bully and an F and da da. I was sitting there going, "We in Hobby Lobby, lady. You ain't supposed to say that word." She threw other words in there, but she threw a lot of them F bombs. I was like, all right. All right. And she looked like, and he kept chiming back. He wouldn't look at her, but he said, "You're being extra, mind your business." And boy, that was all she needed. She was just on. And I told Sarah this later. I got mad because I was going to blast this kid. I was the only guy around that was going to do anything. I could see that. I was going to blast this kid, but this lady blasted this kid so hard there was no more blast room for me to blast the kid. She let him know. Who. And so we left Hobby Lobby after that fiasco. That thing went for a while. I was sitting there going, the cashiers can't go faster. Can't they get rid of this situation? The manager comes over and he tried to say something, but that lady handled business. So we left Hobby Lobby. And then we went to the Lowe's on the other side of town. And we went shopping and looking and looking and looking and looking. And we finally settled on some chairs. Okay. And then I'm still kind of amped up about that kid. It's sticking to my jaw. It is. It's bothering me. I'm frustrated that the kid is just to be that rude, to be that inconsiderate, to be that self-absorbed and self-centered just frustrates the fire out of me. To just think that you can say you don't talk to me any. I can treat you like crap, but you can't treat me like crap because I'm better than you, and how dare you talk to me? I'm sorry. I have a problem with it. I really, really do. And I'm usually very kind. I'm usually very quiet. I just, you do you, I do me, right? And unless somebody is getting treated poorly, I'm going to step in, which I was going to do, but I couldn't because that lady jumped in. So we go to Lowe's, we do that, and then we go to Cracker Barrel. We get something to eat. It was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. Hanging out. We got to get gas. Now, Sarah wants to get gas at Costco. Costco's closed. It's Saturday. Costco closes at 6 o'clock, but the gas station opens till 8:30. And Costco is 8 minutes away from where we go to, from where we're at Cracker Barrel. And it's on the worst road in town. It's called Woodruff. It's red lights everywhere, traffic everywhere, and it's Saturday and it's packed. Football games on, and there's a bunch of sports bars down there, and so it's full of people and everything. So, and Sarah's like, we got 17 minutes, 19 minutes. You need to be about it. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to be about nothing. I'm going to try to get there, but I'm not going to try and kill myself if we can't get gas there, which we're about out of gas. If we can't get gas there, then I'll just go to another gas station. And then gas was almost 50 cents cheaper a gallon at Costco than it was at the next place, I guess, 40 cents cheaper. And so that would have caused an issue. And so I'm like, but I'm not killing myself, which I did drive kind of quick. And so I pull up to Costco, had 6 minutes left. Now, the Costco pumps, there's like, God knows, 36, 9, 12, 12 or 15 pumps. Well, they're closing in 6 minutes. And so the attendant, the one attendant, I get it, Saturday wants to go home. He has blocked off all but 4 pumps, one row of pumps. One's down, so it's 5 pumps. And half the pumps on one side, half the pumps on the other. And the truck, even if I pull right up next to the pump, I can't pump on the wrong side. The gas cap is on the driver's side, so I can't pull over where the passenger side will be next to the pump. You know what I'm talking about? Because it won't reach. It just won't reach over the truck, no matter how hard I try. And so I'm waiting. And all three of those are full. Well, the first one takes off. The farthest one away from me takes off. There's a line of three. But the guy in front of me is a big old truck, and he is parked to where I would barely squeak between him and the barricades on the outside. And Sarah would fuss, and I'm like, I got 6 minutes. I just got to get in there before then. This guy will pump his gas, he'll go. I should have time, so I wasn't gonna go around. Well, this guy, oh my gosh, he gets out, takes his time. I'm sitting there going, all right, still hot from that kid early in the day. Still am. A little bit, just a little bit. But that kid was on my nerve. It's still in my mind. And this guy, he takes his time. He puts the gas in there. He runs his little Costco card. Then he runs his card. Then he takes and puts the pump in there. Then he squeezes the trigger and locks the handle. And you know, when you lock the handle, it doesn't pump as fast as it could. He just puts it in there. Then he goes walking around to the driver's side, or he's at the driver's side. He opens it up and he looks inside the driver's side. I guess he's looking for garbage. I get it because I look for garbage when I pump gas, not when there's only 6 minutes left because I'm aware of other people needing to do. The car in front of them, that lady, she's a flibberty gibbet. She's two people are out of the car. They're walking out like they've never pumped gas in their car before. It is the craziest thing. And I was like, oh, these people ain't never going to move. And so he walks around, the guy in the truck walks around the passenger side, and he checks the car. He checks his truck door for garbage. He putters around with some stuff. He gets no garbage. I'm like, really? In my mind, I'm thinking you could be holding that gas pedal and that gas handle and pumping it a little faster so that I could get my gas. I said, but you know what? Chill out, Bob. He doesn't know you're having a bad moment. He's just doing what he do. You would do that. He's going back to the gas pump. He'll get the gas pump and he'll squeeze the handle and run it through real fast. We'll be done. We'll be good. We still got 4 minutes. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Starting to get tense. He gets it back to the other side where the gas pump is. And he just lets it go. He doesn't pull the handle. He just lets it keep pumping itself. He doesn't even have his phone out. He's not even scrolling on his phone or calling somebody. He's not even busy. He's just sitting there chilling out. Like the whole world has tons of time to get gas. And then it stops. It goes click. I'm like, okay, all right. We still haven't hit 3 minutes yet. We're still 4 minutes. We're good. And so then he walks over there, or he stands there. He grabs the thing and he starts pinching off a couple more pennies. And I'm sitting there starting to get ticked. I am now starting to get ticked. That guy's spending all this time. He could have been helping me out. He's this and that and the other thing. And I'm getting ticked. He's done a little ticky click click thing, and then he starts pulling the hose out and he wiggles the hose up in the air and he kind of taps it around the tank, ting ting ting, and I'm really starting to get ticked. I'm getting angry now. I am. Inside, I am starting to boil. Sarah doesn't see any of this. Everything's on the inside. She's sitting there on her phone, scrolling through something, and he puts the thing up and he gets in the truck, and I'm like, I got 3 minutes. I'm good. He puts his window up, adjusts his mirror. He cranks up the truck. I know that because the light comes on for the brake, and then the exhaust muffler rattles a little bit. You know, when you started the car, it jiggles a little bit, tailpipe up. Like, all right, let's go. And he sits there. Now I'm fuming. And so inside of me wants to lay on the horn. I'm like, that's not nice. Breathe, Bob. Beep. I hit the horn just enough to let him know. And I know because I mowned her down, and the attendant actually looked my way. And he just sits there. I'm down to 2 minutes. The lady in front is still a flibberty gibbet. She's still playing with the gas with her friend that's out there. And I'm like, damn it, I got 2 minutes. So I pull around. I pull around the guy. And I know what I'm doing. I know I have enough room. First lady is not. She's like, you're going to hit the thing. You're going to hit the thing. Watch the mirror. I said, baby, I got this. Just leave me be. Just leave me be. And so I get swung around, and I'm going to hit his mirror the way I'm going. We're going to hit the little edges. And I just swerve just a little bit, and I watch when I'm going past, and I see him the driver's side sticking his hand out like, hey, what are you doing? You're going to hit my mirror. And I'm in my mind going, boy, you should have been gone. And so I pull up in front of the second car to the open tank, to the open gas tank, gas pump, and I back up. And I have to back up to back up. I mean, I am within a foot and a half from that lady's bumper, front bumper. And I don't care. And she's looking at me like I'm stupid. And I'm like, I really don't care. So I get out, not making eye contact, not trying to engage in the stress, because I know I am at a point to where it's not going to be a good thing. And I'm just going to do my business, and we get my gas. I'm going to go. And Sarah's over there going, God, they're jerks. God, they're jerks. And I'm sitting there going in my head, oh, yes, you're right, but don't keep feeding me because I'm having a hard time right now. Wish I had a cigar. Speaking of cigars, if you like cigars and you want to smoke a good cigar, might I suggest something from Davidoff, Avo, Camacho, Zeno Nicaragua, Zeno Platinum, or the world famous Baccarat, the lightest sweetened cap I've ever tasted. Good cigar. That Mexican San Andreas body filler is very, very, very nice. Just blends out the blend. But so I'm sitting there, put the card in, put my debit card in, punch in my numbers, put the nozzle in, pull the handle, and it's going. I'm like, all right, I made it. Ain't no way this pump's gonna shut off at 8:30. Now it's right at 8:30. It's 1 minute till 8:30. And I'm looking, and this guy backs up. I mean, he could go any way he wants to go. He backs up like 30 feet. So this lady can back up, go around him, and go on. He done pumped his gas. He could have just backed up and kept backing up down the road. Right? But no. No. Yeah. He backs up and he sits and he waits for that lady to back up. And I turn back around. I'm going back to pumping my gas. And then I see this Yahoo come driving down that tight, narrow area I had to drive down so that I could get around them cars when he had all the open acreage in the world to just pull around and go away. So I knew there was going to be an issue. Maybe he was going to drive by and flip me off. Maybe he was going to whatever. And I decided at that point that I was engaging a little bit. So I was going to look at the truck when it goes by. And that was it. I'll meet energy with energy. Well, talking too much. When I look in the direction of the truck as he is pulling by slowly. Now, the first lady's in the truck. So now I am at a heightened sense of awareness because now she is between me and that guy. If he's an idiot and he runs into my truck or something stupid like that, hits my mirror or some crap like that, then it's ugly. But I see him roll down his window. And the good part of me said, man, this guy just needs to go on. The other part of me said, oh, it's on now. I've been looking at this meme that says, I don't need therapy. I just need somebody at the gas station to act stupid so I can work out my problems. And I was having this me moment because he rolled down the window and he goes, hey. I looked at him and he goes, you couldn't have waited 20 seconds. I knew it was going to be bad because the first words out of my mouth were, look, I told you when I say that, I have engaged. I will meet your energy and you will lose. I am not one to say things I'm not going to do. And when I'm engaged, I don't back up. I don't. Just who I am. I don't want to engage, but when I do, I engage. And I said, look. I said, you're stupid behind. Boy, it got serious fast. You're stupid behind sitting there playing around with your gas, playing around with your little tinky tinky tink, acting like the sunshine of the world. I had 4 minutes to pump my gas. You sitting there playing around. I ain't got time. And he said something else. And he said, you're an idiot. I said, I'm an idiot. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Let me tell you something. You inconsiderate da 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 da. And I was trying not to say the thing that inside of me wanted to say so bad. Get out of that truck. That's what I want to say. I want to say, get out of that truck. Bring yourself over here and see what happens. I wanted to engage that man into a extremely serious hug session to where me and that man would have had a conversation. And you know, conversations, 90% of them is not verbal. And he kept running his mouth as he kept pulling on. And he kept rolling on. And I kept going at it. I said some bad words. I did. And then I was hot because he finally went on. I finished pumping my gas, got in the truck, expecting that he was going to be sitting in the parking lot, waiting to be an idiot. Luckily, he didn't. But at first, he's like, "What happened? What were you yelling about? I heard you yelling. I couldn't put my window down because the truck was shut down, and I couldn't figure out what's going. This guy came up to you and he did all this with the truck, and he's doing this. What happened?" And so I had to tell him. I had to tell her the whole story. And so now we're driving on the highway, and I'm getting re-hyped up. I'm getting angrier. I look down the speedometer and I'm going 30 miles over the speed limit. And I'm like, oh Jesus, let me slow down. I had to slow down. I had to breathe because I was worked up. I was like, that kid in Hobby Lobby just frustrated me. And then this guy, and then poor Sarah, she just had to kind of sit back and just sit back because I had just the plug had come out of the wall and the tidal wave had just washed out because I started talking about people with self-centeredness and people that don't care about anybody else and people that don't understand that, you know, an ass whooping can still happen if you don't. I said a bad word. It could still happen if you mess with the wrong person, and I'm not the right person to mess with. Do not disrespect me thinking you can run your mouth. I miss the days where when somebody would say something to you, you handled it physically, and then they didn't say something to you no more. The world needs more. People don't have the right to just run their mouth and think they have the freedom to not have consequences in this world. And and half the time I finally got to the point to where I never finished a sentence. I just got into, and you know, and the stupid idiot, and then he's driving, and then but that kid in the but the, and Sarah, being Sarah, knowing me for a very long time and knowing how patient I am and how together I am with dealing with my emotions, because I know I have the ability and I still have inside of me the desire to not be disrespected. And I know that I can create consequences for people that doesn't happen to me. She just sat back and she just let me dump. And it was crazy. We got home. We unloaded our stuff from Lowe's and Hobby Lobby. And I went and sat on the couch and ate me some peanut butter pretzels and watched me some Storage Wars. And allowed my fuming to just disappear because I was struggling. Have you ever had that happen? Have you ever got to a point where you're like, you know what? I don't care about the consequences right now. This is my line in the sand and you have crossed it. Have you ever said to yourself, I just don't want to do the right things. I just want to do the right now. Very rarely do I allow people to get under my skin. I consider it a weakness of mine if I can let you get under my skin. If I can allow you to cause me to behave in a way that I don't want to behave, that means you're in charge of me and I'm not in charge of you. And I don't like that. I want to be in power of myself. If I'm giving you my power, that means you're in charge of me. And I don't like that at all. So I lost it for a minute. I feel bad about it. but I don't feel that bad. So today, once we're done with this, I'll do some editing. I'll get that posted up. And I'll go down with those chairs that the first lady bought, and we'll set it out on the porch. And hopefully, I get to set out my neighbor a little bit. And I get to ask him about his life. I get to do something that makes a difference in a positive way for somebody. Because we only have so much time, we have so much energy, and all of our actions have consequences. I don't know what that guy was going through. I don't know what that kid was going through. And the actions that I was choosing to do or would have chosen to done would have given that person and myself consequences, negative consequences. Spending time with my neighbor, there are consequences too. By doing those actions, I may help somebody say, you know what? Life ain't as bad. I'm not alone. Think of being alone by yourself with no connection with anybody except for what you see on your old tired computer for 15 years. And your world keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller for 15 years. And then I take the opportunity, and the first lady takes the opportunity to show up and let them know they're not alone. Give them a voice. Let them be heard. Let them have a reason. We were going to work Saturday, yesterday. We let them know. I came over a couple of days last week, Monday and Wednesday. And I was afraid that a person that has spent 15 years by themselves might feel overwhelmed with a lot of people coming over a lot of time. One or two people is a lot of people if you don't have people around for 15 years. And I'm very aware of him possibly saying, you know, that's enough. I just can't take all this change. I can't take all this and this and this and this. And then he just goes back to the way it was. And that's not good for him. And I was encouraged when I checked my phone Saturday. Told him I come at noon. I was shooting videos yesterday early. And I was checking my phone at 11 o'clock. And he had left me a text and a phone call. Said, hey, you said you're coming down at 11. Did I miss you? Are you still coming down? And you could hear the anticipation of us coming down. I am much happier using the energy to make a positive difference in somebody's life than to give people consequences they deserve, which they're not going to care for. Both of those people deserve consequences. Both of those people deserve consequences from me because, especially got a gas station, because he engaged me. The kid, he needed a grown up man to say, look, boy, tighten up. This is not how you behave. Ladies, to be a grandma. You're going to run your mouth at her like that. She's going to have 3 or 4 bad days. She might quit her job over your dumb behind because you wanted to push your way through. If he does that way, he does it for life. And just looking at him, now I'm judging him. I am flat out judging him. He was about as fit as a bowl of mayonnaise. He was dumpy. He was frumpy. He was dirty. He did not look well kept. His attitude was sour. The person with him was just silent and looked embarrassed. I believe this is not a one-time thing for him. I think this is the system by which he gets what he needs. This is the way he plays, and so he needs to understand. for his benefit and the benefit of society that he should not be behaving that way. I would be justified in having words with that young man, just as I was justified in having words with the guy at the gas station. I did not want to give grace to either one. I wanted to be law. I wanted to be consequences. And sometimes people need consequences. I used to be a guy who loved to give consequences. I used to be a guy who loved to be that guy. I used to look for those opportunities, whether you deserved them or not. But now as I get older, time is shorter. I find that my time is best served giving grace, giving compassion, giving mercy, giving love. That's one of the things I love about the cigar lifestyle. More often than not, people are coming together to better themselves and better their environment by hanging out with others and just having a moment. Cigars are very rarely used to be angry or aggressive. There are some, and they are really pushed by media sometimes. But if you think about it, cigars are celebratory. They're thought inspiring. They're for fellowship. They're for making harder times easier. They're bringing people together. They're a true leveler. You could have somebody sitting there smoking a cigar, knowing that they may not be able to pay their rent, next to a guy who doesn't know which yacht to buy next year. And unless they're real turd bags, you'd never know it. You may go into a lounge one day and sit down in a lounge you've never been in. You might be sitting next to a millionaire. You don't have a clue. I've done it. Chief's done it. Other people I know have done it. They're like, you know who I was sitting next to? I think Steven sat next to general manager of the Orlando Magic one time. I had a conversation with him for an hour. After it was all over, the guy got up and left after he gave him a cigar. Ladino. Guy goes, you know who you were just talking to? He goes, no, I ain't got no clue. Just whatever his name was, John, Joe, whatever. He goes, that was the general manager or um, one of the big shareholders of the Orlando Magic. He goes, really? We didn't even talk about basketball. It's so cool. It's so cool. One of the things I like and one of the things I don't like about having this video unscripted, if I had scripted, if I had guests, I would probably have more views. I probably would. More people would watch. But sometimes it's not about the numbers of people, but about the people that need to hear what need to be heard. Maybe, just maybe, you can relate to the lady that cussed out the dude in Hobby Lobby. You can relate to the lady who was fussed at as a cashier at Hobby Lobby. You can maybe relate, hopefully not to being that kid at Hobby Lobby or me, where you felt bad about not saying something, but somebody else has sucked all the air out of the room before you could get there. Or maybe you identify as the guy in the truck. Or maybe you identify as the first lady, having to sit there and listen to me just hemorrhage my feelings. Maybe you're like my neighbor. you feel alone. Maybe you feel like, this ain't working. I'm about ready to be dead, ready to be done. Or maybe you have a neighbor or somebody in your circle that just you feel like you might want to go up and say, "Hey, I want to check on them." You just haven't done it because it's guys. Now I'm speaking to guys, speaking to everybody, but my analytics say that 99.99.44 100% dudes. All right, not many ladies. Love you, ladies. Right, family friendly, of course. But as dudes, we need an excuse. It seems sometimes to have a conversation. There has to be something. It's me, the person, and then a reason. Maybe you can say, I'm just going to embarrass myself a little bit and put myself out to where maybe they'll say, look, don't come over here. And then say, okay, have a nice day. Or you find out somebody's having some struggles and you can go help them and you can invest a positive amount of time. Maybe this week you may need to be the law. Or maybe you need to be the grace. You need to be the mercy. You need to be the understanding. Never be the victim. Never let anybody, for any reason, treat you poorly. That's not the right way to do it. You are valuable. You're worth being treated well. You are worth your boundaries. If you don't set your boundaries, you don't keep your boundaries. Nobody's going to set them or keep them for you. So you need to be aware of that as well. What I'd expected to be a 20-minute conversation and then figure out what I was going to talk about has gone a lot longer. I did a video yesterday, rated the 5 worst drinks to pair with cigars. It is awful. Oh my gosh. I thought I was going to throw up my toes. It was so bad. If this was heavy, you're like, I didn't come here for this heavy stuff. I get it. Go check that video out. Just dropped last week. It's called The 5 Worst Things to Drink with Cigars. It's a pretty simple title, easy to find. You're on my channel already. Go look it up and watch it. Leave me a comment. I'd love for you to leave me a comment if you're going through something, if you see somebody going through something, or you just need to dump your stuff, if you just need to hemorrhage. Feel free to leave me a comment. I will comment back. And if it's something that you really need to talk about that you just don't feel like the whole world needs to see, send me a message in Messenger. You can even email me at rgfinley70@gmail.com. Because here we like views. We absolutely do. Because that gives us the opportunity to go to our sponsors and say, hey, we're doing good by y'all. Give me some more money. Let me do some more stuff. Keep sponsoring. But more importantly, all of us involved with the Bob Scarga YouTube channel invested in you. That's the reason why we do what we do. We like to smoke cigars. But the reason we do it is because hopefully make a difference in your life. And hopefully have fun. Now I've got 1 minute left. So I'm going to close this by saying you're awesome. You're fantastic. You're phenomenal. This week is going to be a great week coming up. Enjoy your weekend. You're home, I hope. Shut the car off. Get out of the car. Shut that door because life begins where? On the other side of that car door. Get in that house. See the people you love and the people that love you back. Give them extra big hugs today. Listen a little longer. Ask them, you okay? Anything you want to talk about? Maybe, just maybe, there's something to say. Maybe you need to say, can I use you for a minute? I need to dump my stuff. Dump your stuff. Don't carry it. It's too heavy. Life's a long journey. Pack light. Got 9 seconds left. This baccarat. I got 4 more. I'm going to smoke the fool out of these heifers. I like them. I do. Right in that medium light range. Fantastic. I'll see you later. Time's up. Later, Tater. Love you. I mean,